This is my good brother, Cleon, my Sagittarius twin. This is Daniel Jones. When I auditioned at New School, I stayed with him, and he had terminology calling people Thompson. It was hilarious. But Daniel, I met you before I auditioned at New School. I got in. And look how important he is. Even while I'm introducing me on his phone, he's very important.
When somebody was sending me, they asked him, "Do I need
he's an MD
IPI number for some BMI stuff?" I'm trying to get people these checks right. Come on now.
See, he's very important. So this is Cleon Daniel. But one thing I do want to say, what I love, not like about Dallas. You know what I like? You are a MD to the stars, and you play for everybody, right? But unlike other cities I've been to, a lot of times when cats come back home, they don't give that back to their community. Because other cities, you know, cats just stay in the house.
If I saw that Bobby, if somebody was like on live or something, and I saw that Bobby was playing up the street, I would get out the bed and just go to where he was playing, and just sit under and then stay and then help him load the organ in or whatever.
Really?
But because I used to do that when I was younger, and that's how I learned about the Wawa or the Leslie, and it's all about service. You know what I'm saying? Because we're in the service business first.
It's about service.
If you don't know how to serve, ain't nobody gonna serve you. And if you serve right, then the money will be there. You got to see what you're serving though, and a lot of people are just serving self. So once you serve the people that made way for you, or not just sounding good, but just good people. You don't want just great men in your life. You want good men in your life, good people in your life. And so I don't mind serving that, and that stuff kind of rubs back on you. Hey, you never know when you need, when you down and under, or at that funeral, what people gonna stand up and talk about you. But hey, service, man. We're in the service business because we are irreplaceable. It's gonna be a young whippersnapper that can play around you and have all the licks, but how did you serve the people? How did you serve your community? And the philanthropy, a lot of us don't have those means to go back and build schools, but this is a school right here. So if I can at least impart, if somebody younger, like if AD see me working under Bobby, and like undergirding, hopefully the other next dude that he brought in there do the same thing for him. And it's just a cyclical thing, and it's a brotherhood that we're serving each other, and it's more than just the music. It's like, hey, now our wives are calling each other out. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a little deeper than that, but that's where it starts. That's where it is. We all we got, baby. CMB.
See, y'all preachers. Y'all philosophical, man.
I mean, Texas, I think Texas, and there.
Nick, can I say something, not to cut you off? It's funny when you say Texas. I had a gig. Do you remember Titus we grew up with? Titus?
Of course, I remember Titus.
So I haven't seen Titus in years, so I did some shows. Yeah. So a lot of people, that's man. See, I could probably do episode 2 because they don't know. See, people think Titus and Daniel Jones and Mike Reed just come out of osmosis out of nowhere. They don't realize, man, we have like
PJ Moore and Thomas Pridgeon. All of them.
That's how we all know you and Spud.
Yeah.
See, okay, when I moved down here, RC was like, yeah, I was around all that. But I feel like for whatever reason, you and Spud was the most visible. Well, maybe just the way.
Way more churchier than RC.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Exactly. RC was gonna be at the GMWA.
Yeah,
but he wasn't gonna be too churchy there.
Right.
Well, he might not even came to GMWA.
Him and Spud are
Well, see,
church.
I'm not church.
We all church.
We church, but
I ain't talking about the plan.
You're not church.
You're talking about the politics. Oh, he's definitely church. He's way more churchy than me. But you talking about the politics?
Yeah.
I can,
So you could do more church politics than Cleon, probably.
I think my business savvy is probably I learn what to do and not to do in church.
Okay.
Because we kind of came from the same. Me and Cleon came from the same Baptist background, but from a country city, from Ferris, where you can see the inner workings of the deacons to the musicians to the pastors. So when your mama in there and your daddy in there every day, you can kind of see how excuse my French, but niggas is kind of work in church. So you be like, huh. Now there's a difference between the city type of church where you got the Concords or where RC and Sean and
So did you ever play at that? So this is what I learned
Yes.
moving to Dallas. But I don't know. I'm not going to assume people know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I live in Dallas. Dallas is my home. Why is Dallas my home? I want to be present. I'm from Baltimore. I'll always love my city and where I'm from. But Dallas is home. I was home last week and I was like, I got to get back home. It's just different. Like I was like, I get back home to Dallas. Like, I don't know. Baltimore is
green pastures.
it's just not, it's not home. And to be fair to what's happening in in the present, I have to be all here mentally and spiritually. So this is my home. This is my family home. My son is like, Dad, Dallas is it. Like Baltimore's a little different. And my son's only 9, but he's very spiritual and he's tapped in. So he's like, oh man, Dallas is it. So anyway, I'm from Baltimore. Dallas is my home, but a lot of people don't realize. I didn't realize till I moved here. Y'all have a lot of mega churches. So, Washington, D.C., PG County, which is one of the biggest and wealthiest, well-to-do black counties in America, which is PG County. But actually, Baltimore is like number 5 for upperly mobile black people. A lot of people don't know. But anyway, we have mega churches like Jamal Brown, like you was talking about. Me, Justin, Will McMillan, we all played at a church called Mount Union. You have like the Union temples where Richard Small would come out of. But it's not like Dallas though. Like to the point, like from Baltimore, we be like, oh, Potter's House, TD Jakes, that's a mega, that's a mega church in the, in Dallas. You come to Dallas like, wait, Concord, wait, Antioch. I'm like, wait a minute, where y'all have OBCF? I'm like, oh, I didn't know y'all had all these mega churches. Then another thing I noticed in Dallas, it's not that much of a racial divide like it is where I'm from. So I have brothers, African American brothers serving at white congregations, yeah, and that's not that common in Baltimore, D.C. like that, like it is here. So it's a couple cultural dynamics in the church industry that I had no clue until I moved here. Like, man, it's a lot of just mega churches, black, white.
Church is big money, and this is the Bible Belt.
This is a real Bible Belt. See, I come from a pseudo Bible Belt. This is the real one. Ain't no pseudo.
But church is big money. But it's kind of. I mean, because me and Cleon probably could speak to it too. We grew up on that family church thing. Where
family church.
It's family church where your uncle was the head of the deacons. Your daddy may be the pastor. Your mom was that type of thing. And it kind of grows, but now you see families running big mega churches. So like a Tony Evans, he has OCBF. And church is big money in Texas.
I didn't know, but
it's just big money.
Daniel, I didn't know that.
And that's why you'll never probably see me or him play at it.
So that's what I was going to ask you. So that's what I was going to ask y'all, because y'all are from. Okay, so me and him, we get into this.
Yes, go.
He's Ferris. I never had a Ferris till I moved here. I'm still gonna say he's Dallas, but
I love Dallas.
Yes.
Dallas is everything.
And I love Ferris. And I grew up in Ferris, but I'm not from Ferris.
But see, I've never been to Ferris.
Yeah,
he's from Ferris. You was born in Ferris?
Born and raised.
Yes.
Born and raised.
My address now.
Because you kind of like, I think Cleon, a lot of people don't. What people don't know about you, when I didn't know until I moved here, you're a little country.
I'm Ferris, Texas.
I didn't know that. And one thing I didn't know about y'all, this is a Dallas and y'all could cook.
Oh,
like up top.
That's a Texas thing. And
we don't cook like that. Like y'all cook.
I love to cook.
Yeah.
We were just talking about some chitlins the other day, wasn't we?
Yeah, when I was on the phone with you, was like chitlins.
I some and made them too.
Yeah.
So you know how to make chitlins.
I can't make them now. I ain't gonna go that far. I ain't gonna do that. But
y'all,
we know somebody in our family. They could get them.
We did it for the first time.
You did? You cleaned them out too?
They double cleaned.
Oh, double cleaned.
They got the fresh packs now, so they ain't got to go through all that.
Y'all don't know. Daniel can't cook, y'all.
I'm trying to do that.
But
because
Daniel,
but that's a service thing.
Can't cook.
I like to serve the people. I say this: if you make a good meal, it's just like producing a good song. Everybody eats out of it. Everybody feeds. So I like doing that. But now I got to learn how to just keep it all in house, because I cook too big meals and then I have to waste food. But I love serving people when it's for the right cause.
You know, that's powerful. Selah. Because the book of Mark presents Jesus Christ as a servant. And I didn't realize till I got older, we're all in the people's business, bro.
Yes.
Like if I knew what I knew now, I probably would have studied psychology and philosophy in the mind more. If I knew it was, predicated on people and relationships. I mean, music is on so many different personalities. Like you doing pop, then you doing R&B, then you doing church, then you doing mega church. It's like it's so. I mean, you're always authentic. Let's say code switching, because you never not being who you are, but you have to have some sensibilities to kind of know the rooms you're into. You know what I'm saying?
Read the room.
Yeah, read the room.
I mean, it's just like even this combination right here. People ask, and I don't know if I ever said this for Cleon. Some people were like, "Why you always book Cleon on your gigs?" Well, because I like him, but because it wasn't hating, but some people were just like
they ask why you always use Cleon.
Yeah,
I want you to answer that. I'm going to answer.
But it's about it's relationship too. People don't know I grew up with this man, and we never had a chance to really play on a professional level besides church or just seeing each other. So by the time I moved back here and it's imperative for me to make my mark where I'm from. And so he's a person that we grew up together. So I'm comfortable with his vernacular, his tactics, boom, boom, boom. And also he's an amazing player. And so it wasn't a hating thing, but it was just like, oh, why you always use Cleon? And I'm a smart dude. I know who to call for certain gigs. But now it's about the relationship thing and it's a people thing. I'm like, people gonna hire people they're comfortable with.
Okay.
That is it, you know what I'm saying? Cleon can probably mess up a lot of times, be like, where you gonna be at? What's this at? But I'm comfortable with him, hey, but that's what that is, because that's family, And if it works, it works. It's same like you. I could name you 5 bass players from here. When you moved down here, I was like, you ready? And we ain't never played, but I know you.
Right.
And it worked.
Right.
There's in the people serving business, and that translates into music. And when you go and serve the instrument, you done worked on your craft. That means you have served the craft, that you done the justice, learned the music or whatever. So this just flows. And now we're serving each other. That serves the artist or the event, and that goes out and serves the people. And then they serve us our money. And we get out there.
Service.
And they go serve our families.
and it goes back to serving our family.
Serving our families. It's the ecosystem, domino effect, baby.
Yes.
But I'm going to speak to Cleon. See,
get on him.
It's a lot of people I met when I moved. Like I didn't know Marcus till I moved here. He's amazing.
I love Marcus.
Oh my God, Marcus. Ski. I mean, his dad on bass is ridiculous. But see, like everybody know y'all. Like if you from LA, London, everybody knows Cleon. Everybody know Daniel. I met so many bad cats when I moved here. But I will say, sometimes people just click, and Cleon has, like, okay, so I met Curtis King through you. And the first day, I was with Roy and Justin yesterday, and I was like, man, I feel like I do Curtis forever.
Yes,
it's just, I can't really describe, because we are spiritual beings having a human account. I already believe that, and I do believe we're spirits, right? And you can't really articulate in a way what that is. And I can be honest, being in the music game, there's been cats I like wanted to play with, I admire so much, and I want to have that thing I had the first time I met Daniel. First time I met Cleon, first time I met you, first time I met Curtis King. And I'm like, I don't want it. Sometimes I kind of almost forced it because they such bad cats, but
it don't work out. It don't.
And I'm like, am I like, I don't know, like goofy, corny, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, and so like now at 41, I'm comfortable with just letting it be what it is and just trusting God, who's in my life, supposed to be in my life, but that is a thing. Like, I think, cause sometimes people ask me, and I'll say this, back home, how we clean up, we was like that with Mike Reed. So other people was like, you don't like the way you play? So I said, no, I love the way you play. I was like, I almost kind of raised him like low key, like I'm teaching him how to wash a car, wax a car, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's about a family thing. But I will say this, musically too, it's just certain people you gel with. So I was telling Cleon, I was like, yo, you know I really like playing with you, bro. Not your chops. And I don't know. I think it's a drum thing more than bass and keyboard guitar. It's like the Drum Olympics thing. Drummers really focus on it, and then they see so many successful drummers playing. So I got this term from you. I don't know if you remember Cleon. He calls them stadium chops, right?
Oh yeah.
So drummers like Cleon, they don't play chops. They play colors and they play phrasing. And so I think sometimes because it's not like notes and harmony on drums, they don't look at colors and phrasing. But you actually can, and it's technique, and you do play phrases, and you do play musically. So you're beyond chops. You're playing colors, but y'all know like C, like the highest note, a couple octaves, no longer notes. It's colors. That's how powerful music is. Like you can feel what people are playing. Music is so powerful, you know. So you get that, which I think a lot of drummers just miss. And then for me as a bass player, that pocket, bro, Cleon pocket. It controls the music in the room. It's just But what did you say? You said I said I like to sit, but you said something else. Like we was playing somewhere. You was like, no, not sit. You was like, I want to like relax. Did you say relax or something? What'd you say, Cleon? You said
Some people that are sit in the pocket, I rather just recline. I want to
recline. Wait, say lie. Let that sit.
Yeah.
Hey, hold it. That's what you said. That's good, isn't it?
You can sit on a chair. But it's still it's not the most comfortable position.
Come on.
Not when you have the level on the side to control how you lay.
This is why I love y'all. This is my home. Dallas is my home. I love this. This how I like. See y'all thinkers. It come on, y'all.
Drummers are supposed to sit on the pocket.
Yo.
They're supposed to sit in the pocket, and that's another thing. A lot of people, they're not confused on what pockets is. They just don't want to do it because it's not a straight beat. It's literally just it's driving the music. Mm-hmm. Sitting down, you can't drive anything standing up. So if you want to drive the bus, sit down. Pull your seat back where you got a comfortable position. And you can put it in cruise control at that point. And whatever comes with the road, if you see a bump coming or a transition, hit your brakes. Or swerve, whatever you need to do, make your move and get back on course. Once you get back on course, you can take your foot back off the gas because you're still in cruise control.
Come on. You are speaking. Oh, I never heard you. Come on. What you be on? I like that.
You said something powerful. You said playing pocket is not playing straight, right?
No, not always. Like it's playing. Sitting in the pocket is being where you belong. It's as simple as that. If you're playing Billie Jean, there ain't no need for a double on a hi-hat nowhere. Like, play Billie Jean. If you can sit there. If you playing, whatever you playing, when you get, man, we vibe all the time. But when we get to these places and we just sit there, it becomes a whole nother thing. Like, it's that. It's just, it's cruise, man. Just cruising. Put yourself there and go.
You gotta want to do that. I feel like when some drummers play pockets,
sure.
It's like they don't want to do it, but they gotta do it because they think they gotta do it to serve the music, and you can hear that they're not really present.
Ooh, you're not serving the music.
You're not serve. It goes back to service. So that's what God wants us to get today. Service. Some reason.
And
service.
More than it don't sound like it. It'll never feel like it if it ain't real. I can tell you that right now. You can always tell when somebody. It's like it's a relationship. Like it's a real relationship between players and the instruments. Like the players and the music. It's a. I don't want to use crazy words, but it's a musical orgy between us, our position, and what we're called to do, whatever it is. Like we just. It's pretty easy, but it's complicated when you weren't really brought up to serve.
So let me ask you this, Cleon, being from, I think I want to ask both of y'all, because some people assume, like you're a keyboarder, so outside looking in, they would assume, because we're all kind of like the same. I'm 41, how old are you?
I'll be 41, and I'm 40.
You're 40, and you're 38, right?
I'm 37.
You're 37, 40, 41.
I just turned 37.
Just turned 37 in December. I turned 41 in December. Okay. Most people would assume. No, you're a November Sag. Okay, my bad. I stand corrected in November. We would assume outside looking in that you learned a lot from like Deshaun, Bobby's, RC's, and I'm gonna come back to that because I'm really curious because you have a lot of music vocabulary. You know what I mean? So I really want to just get into that a little bit. But where did you get your mode of thought of playing drums in Dallas, Ferris, Texas, coming up a young cat in church? Because with what you play, obviously it takes a lot of thought and it takes a lot of time. You work your thing out on the kit, but like, who was that cat you was like, I see that, I like that, I vibrate with it, I want to go? Because it's like with bass guitar, I feel like it's different tribes of bass. Like Jocko's a tribe, Anthony Jackson is a tribe, Pino Palladino is a tribe, Victor Wooten's a tribe. It's different tribes of bass.
It's like that with drummers too. When
Okay.
when you start talking about those guys, but those, like you were listening to those guys when you were younger, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is where the story gets interesting for me.
Mm-hmm.
In Ferris, in my house, it wasn't no, we ain't listening to no worldly music. It wasn't that at all. But we definitely did listen to a lot of church music.
Okay.
To answer the question, because this is gonna go into it all. Like, before I could get anything from church, I was getting everything from the crib every day. Like my pops he was a real drummer. For the longest, he was the only drummer for all the churches in Ferris.
Come on, Jerry Carroll. Alan, what up?
He
still got
that curl.
Okay, your father.
He still got that curl today.
I love it.
Like,
Hey, Mabel.
Mom and daddy.
Yeah.
But nah, man, like every day, like, and we had this thing. The house that it was, the people that lived in it, we knew it as the drum room. So the red room was pretty much, that was the jam session space and a hangout space, a chill space, everything for after church on Sundays, Federation Sundays.
Come on, Federation.
Federation Sundays.
What's that? What's Federation Sundays?
Ooh,
That's when all the churches and fairs, like, you know how everybody be having musicals and they come from all over? That was a thing in Ferris. Ferris is such a small town. It's a real community. So
our 5 churches: Oak Grove, Mount Horeb, True Love, God's
True Vine.
I mean True Vine. I said about True Love. That's my uncle church. God's Kingdom, and I'm missing one.
Mount Rose, Mount Horeb, Oak Grove, True Vine, God's Kingdom.
That's 5.
Yeah, that's the 5.
Okay, that's the 5.
And then
We'll meet on the 4th Sunday.
Yeah, we meet the 4th Sunday of every month. And every church come, you do your 2 selections.
You do your 2 selections.
Typically a fast one and a slow one.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Reverend Sewell, God rest his soul.
Come on,
man. Every time came time for offering, it's time to bump.
Yeah.
Like, he had this thing, man. He'd get this jug of energy and he would take off running around the church.
Okay.
Like, it don't matter what church
How
it
far
was.
is Ferris from Dallas, Texas? Like
24 minutes. 24 minutes.
He know it was
Straight down 45.
Yeah.
45 south. My father started listening to Chris Dave when he had a tape of him when he was like 16 playing with was it Sean McLemore?
So you know that record with Barry Jackson playing bass?
Yes, sir. My father. I know Barry Jackson Jr.
Come on, you better go with the names.
But yeah, so it started there. Average white band, of course, all the Earth, Wind and Fire records. But that's where all of the musicality came from. Like, it's just I always heard songs. I wasn't like, hey, how you named all those individual players? Like, all my homies, they be like, man, yeah, you ain't know nothing about.
For me, it's Vinny.
Oh, well, all them wrong answers. Tony Williams.
Tony Williams. He's the go. Yeah, Tony and Vinny for me. Yeah,
right.
Tony Williams is probably the best drummer I ever lived. Yeah,
I ain't know none of them niggas. I ain't know nothing about them. Nothing. I got my first dose of seeing the name that I knew that I was able to put a face to first on a record was Dennis Chambers, and we had the P-Funk All-Stars joint with that
that's
long,
Baltimore right there, yeah.
20 minutes.
No, Dennis is from Baltimore. Skeet from Baltimore.
You talking about Houston? Or we talking about what video?
That's see, Daddy had the cassette tape
Oh,
of it.
okay.
Oh, you talking about it was live in DC?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, but that era, the whole band was like from Baltimore, though.
But yeah, so and then that's when I got the pocket in the pocket VHS.
Gary Granger playing bass.
Gary Granger and John Schofield. And then
Dennis Chambers right in the pocket. Mm-hmm.
And then I got the Serious Moves VHS with Anthony Jackson.
Ooh, that's
and I forgot Buddy on keys. And then my pops got me the Dave Weckl Back to Basics VHS. So I'm saying, like, all the stuff that when they came to my pops and just individual, it was drummers like that. But Chris, Dave, man, Mint Condition came out before all that stuff. I learned every song in my mirror.
the definition of a band. What's the record for you with Mint Condition?
Definition of a band.
Yeah, that's probably the one for me.
Yeah, like yeah.
Because I like Stokely. I mean, people always talk about Chris, but people sleep on Stokely as a drummer and also a vocalist. That cat can sing,
boy. I don't know why they can't sleep on Stokely as a vocalist and they like Tone.
Right.
I can't stand you right now. You's a DH.
Yeah. No, Stokely can sing.
Let's Die Hard.
Yeah.
But not Stokely's amazing. And honestly, I'm gonna get to another name really soon. But Chris was the main one.
Okay, Chris Dave. Okay.
After Pops, there was Chris Dave. There's a guy named Blue Piper that I met later on. Brian Blue Piper was.
No, I'm not hip. Who's that?
You ain't gonna know. You will see him riding downtown with
True
this.
Love Baptist Church.
Yeah. Elbert Taylor.
a Dallas drummer.
Taylor in 3D. Yeah.
Elbert Taylor in 3D.
Elbert Taylor in 3D. United Power.
What are y'all saying? Y'all talking fast? I'm not.
It was a community choir group. But,
okay.
But we all knew him.
Thank you for the backdrop.
And he played at my uncle's church. My uncle. My grandmother's brothers, the sergeants, had two churches, Faithful and True Love. And just kind of like that Federation thing, but they were in Oak Cliff. They were in Dallas, and they fellowship. And a man that's from Ferris, I think Elbert's from Ferris, but Elbert Taylor Jr., he, I think he's a savant, but he's a keyboardist, musician. But with that whole merge of Steely Dan,
P-Funk, for sure.
P-Funk, Stevie, but he wrote church songs.
He has
gospel songs.
He has a catalog of church songs,
bro.
That today, like we talking about stuff from the 80s and 90s.
They were this is what we grew up on. So like.
This is what I played at church with every week.
And so this is who we set up under.
Y'all schooling me hard. That's why I wanted to talk. Because I don't know my history. I'm big on history. I don't know.
All of that type of stuff plays a part in what Dallas got introduced to when I stepped out here. Now, I saw something interesting at the age of 12 when Blue had his second Drummers Expo. And there was this group called Sly. Now, me being young and kind of dumb, I'm like, they don't say nothing about the Stones, so it's not. It just said SLI with dots in between. Found out it was Sput, Lamont, and Ozzie Parker.
Wow, I didn't know that.
This joker came out with some some swim shoes on. He was straight.
I was Prince.
I was just about to say he was straight Prince back then.
I was Prince in church
with crazy.
But I remember you being like that in New York.
Yeah, I was always, y'all tamed me. Y'all was talking about me too much. I was too much.
Nobody was talking about you. Was
and
cool.
if anything,
because everybody know you back East Coast.
But yeah, man, Chris Lewis.
Cool.
Chris Lewis, Dallas cat.
Yeah, Chris Lewis. I think he still play at Concord. But man, Chris Lewis is probably mostly responsible for the biggest villain on drums I'm yet to see in Dallas or anywhere in Texas, with the exception maybe of Chris Dave. He got killed in '95. His name's Jerome Gaul.
Jerome, yeah.
Like that, I saw that type of stuff. Jerome.
Yeah.
I love Chris Dave today, and I saw him in '95 down here with a short, stocky black dude. No,
Or back then
so.
in the '90s, it was like Houston was in Houston and Dallas.
I think Houston was Houston and Dallas was Dallas. The only correlation or the connection I know because they went to the PVHs, the PVAs, the performing arts schools, and Sean and RC would talk about when they would have like all city or something like that, or like state, and they will reconnect then, and there's no those type of things. But other than that, there are a couple of things that circulated, when people got of age. Robert would come up and come to Sankofa. You would see a picture, Robert, Sean, RC, Bobby. I went to school with Robert. I was a freshman at New School when Glasper was a senior. But other than that, I don't know we're all brothers and shit,
What year did you graduate from New School?
2006, 2005, 2006. Because my dumb tail, I graduated high school in 2000, and I went to North Texas for one semester. I stopped playing. I was a BCIS major, and I was like, I'm gonna go get a real business degree and not play. And I was sitting in my room, my dorm. I just was with this girl. She had fake breasts, fake eyelashes, fake everything. And I was just like,
that wasn't real.
I was like, why am I here?
Yo, that's gonna that.
Just like, yo, and I called Terry Lucas, the administrator, admissions, and she was like, oh yeah, we're still under your scholarship. And I left. I was out of there. But yeah, that's a good list. That's a good list of musicians. I know all them drummers.
17, 18.
Okay.
Robert, but C-Ray.
He gave you something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, he gave me enough when I was 12.
Okay, so if I can take it to
band.
some more, blue, all them more like marching band, paradiddles.
Like they got hands
all
and
day.
feet for days.
But then Sput, Ike and them got chops and maybe a little finesse and little jazz. And
Yeah, they went to that little music school.
And they're very musical. So Sput,
yeah, you talking about niggas that went to
Sput can
Hutch
produce the music and add the
play it.
hits. And so it adds the texture, another texture layer where you're serving the music again, and it's just not this over jack off on me, drum. I mean
that wasn't blue.
No, I'm not saying. But that's how I'm
that makes sense.
I've never heard his name blue a day in my life. I'm learning a lot.
I told you, I said his name. You were sitting outside on the patio. You probably just blew it off like a lot of other people do. But
hey, this is how me and Cleon talk.
Yeah, if y'all don't know,
I just showed you a blue set.
Blue put me in the Drummers Expo. The year
is he still playing?
Nah, Blue he chilled out long time. Blue stopped playing really after. Man, he stopped playing after
he came around and he crushed everybody's dreams.
And it wasn't
because he can do both of them. He had and he had. That's the only thing I want there. Why you on that? Okay, I don't.
No, go say it. Go. No, let it out.
You know why? You know what I'm about to say.
No, say.
I'd be like, yo, man, special wins. I'd be like, yo, why you don't want to swing?
You supposed to be swinging.
Yo, you don't.
I'm not supposed to be swinging.
You supposed? Yes, you do.
I'm supposed to be swinging if the gig costs me.
No, I'm not talking about gig. I'm talking about the music. It's bigger than the gig. You supposed to be swinging. I'm talking about the spirit of the music and what is there to
my
teach
shit
you.
moves, fam. Hold on, what you mean?
No, because even when you
because but I'd be like, man, you should get in the swing. You be like, I don't really want to swing like that.
You have a.
Man, I just don't want the ding ding ding.
Okay.
That's not swinging.
That's all I said. That like what true
like
jazz.
Lamont, I love to hear Lamont swing. Jackie, whoa. And so and I think you have that same dexterity, but
you have the language,
and you have the language.
Thing, you have the IQ for it. You have the understanding for it.
So I understand that, but I'm just a musician, so I could do it if you want me to. If you ask, hey, what you want to do today? Hey, let's go swing. That ain't gonna never come out my mouth.
I just got it.
That's all I'm saying.
But I think the more you did it, and me and him know, the more you would do it, you would actually say that.
But Taj, I think I just felt your spirit, because when people be like, let's bump, I swear to you, I'll be like, that's a learn
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
No, but that's a learned language.
Yeah. And so is jazz.
And I don't have.
See, I don't believe. And I'm
going
gonna be totally honest with you. I don't believe it should be a language. I feel like it should be led by the Holy Spirit.
No, but
the bumps.
And the bumps. And what happens?
Yeah.
See, now people rehearse bumps, and to me that's cornballers.
There you
and
go.
I mean, you really.
like it.
I don't like it because
I like the outcome.
All right, can I be honest with you? This is great. This is a great connection. Bumps in church was what jazz was to us. So me, Justin, Kenny, Mike, we ain't rehearse nothing. The Holy Spirit would give us stuff in a moment, and it'd be stuff we don't even know we be playing. We're just flowing, and we're having a conversation in the spirit, and we just going. It's not like, okay, let's do this. Do. Then let's do this. Do it. Let's try this one. Number 2, number 3. No, it was nothing like that for us.
And
to be honest, you got to be on a certain musical level to really flow too. But that's a whole conversation for another level.
But
a lot of cats can't play without stems and space ball today too.
But your fingers and your soul serve the music or serve the craft. You know that thing right there. That's a learned behavior. Now, me, if I hear this, I'm right here. I'm Funk Prince. So I think it's a learned thing.
I mean, it's a language like jazz.
Yes,
it's a language.
And that's why I said
I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like drummers and bass players, we can switch languages easier. I think it's hard for keyboards because I get my gospel cats to play R&B and I be like, y'all can't play parts. Y'all sounds be wrong.
Oh my God.
I'm like, never mind.
You out all day.
And then I get like my R&B cats. I'm like, you want to do a gospel gig? I'm like, y'all not playing no substitute. Y'all not playing no routes. I'm like, never mind. Let's just get back on tour. So, but like, you know, you get like a Mike Reed or like an Ether from somebody, and they get this, you know. But the keyboard is, I don't know. It's so much harmony with y'all. It's harder to cross genres. I don't know, like. But
that's why I'm not offended when I'm not called for a gig. It wasn't for me, boo.
Like Javad is really like combo in LA. Who? Little Javad, he's kind of like a church cat, but then he'll do programming. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
He's nice.
Yeah, he could program. He could play simple. But then he go to church and go hard and just got all these routes and stuff in church. But Javad is like one of I'm sure it's plenty that could I never really heard you go in church like.
Yeah.
But Javad, like I seen him like, oh, all right, you can play with Jimmy New. You got some routes and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is learned behavior in church. I remember I was subbing for Travis Sales.
Oh, in New York, yeah.
In New York. And I forgot the church name.
Because you played Bernard Jordan Church. You in Felsen, right?
And I love, hey, shout out to Maine, shout out to DW, shout out my New York family. But these jokers was shouting so long. I just got off the organ, yo. I was like, yo, I'm not finna, what is this? I'm like, yo, man, this can't be in the spirit. But it's a learned behavior. And
no, a lot of it don't be in the spirit. We're gonna be. I would
have got in the spirit too.
But I know it's just like it's a dexterity thing, and that wasn't me. You know, now you get me on some whole other stuff, I'm gonna wear you out. But I'm like, what is this? Okay, but now I have such an appreciation for it, and I done reached out to my church friends. I'm like, yo, I just want to. Told Cornell, I told Jenny, yo, y'all want to learn how to cook, y'all want to learn how to do other stuff. I got you. I just give me an hour a day.
But you know, I'm gonna say this: like you have West Coast jazz, as you know, and then you have East Coast jazz, like you know, especially like in the '60s and '70s, that was like a thing, right? I have noticed, like if I was playing a full memorial with like Wayne, Jamal, Omar, their church was different than like Baltimore, and then Baltimore church. It's like different than like Titus than Chicago, right? Yeah. And then West A had this like this real pretty sweet, but it's still dirty thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all church to me in Texas, because when we think of Texas, most people, I'm going to be totally honest, we think in God's Property and Kirk Franklin. Now I'm sure there's many other gospel artists, but when people think Texas, we think Daniel Spud, Kirk Franklin, God's Property. That's what we think. And when I heard that God's Property record, which I didn't know Peabody and RC played on Talmud here. It was so polished and clean, and Keith Taylor was like,
it's polished.
He was like a perfect bass, like his bass sound like it was just came out the bass shop with perfect strings, perfect action. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is like corporate, clean Southern gospel. It was like something I've never heard. Like, bro, we wore the God's Property record out, bro.
But see, that's why if you hear Sean's records and he says these things like, I want my music to be played on the radio.
Yeah, y'all.
You know, it's a different type of approach. And going back to that bump thing, and you talk about musicians, I got to shout out Omar Edwards and Justin Gilbert. I think those are two people, and those are my hearts. Y'all know, hey, and I don't mind saying that. those are people in my genre or in my instrument I have worked with and I've seen that can go in
church,
there
right.
and then, hey, bring it back, give me 3 notes.
Right.
You don't want to see Omar no Ableton either.
But I want. Why is it? Do you think it's? Because this is what I love about them. A lot of times we disagree. This one makes us really brothers. So y'all may disagree or agree. I don't know. But this is my experience. I found it hard for cats that could really go and got bullets on keys and all this to make love, to try. It's like you and Justin Gilbert could just play and y'all like. Because like keyboard, I'm gonna say this: keyboard and R&B is almost like a drum and bass player. Yeah. Versus in gospel, me and the drummer have to support the keyboard. There's nothing wrong. Versus like you and Justin, y'all got information, but y'all are present, and
because we know how to serve the music. Sir. And I took a class called Effortless Mastery with Kenny Warner, and he taught us how to make every note count. You can play the same CEG.
Right,
but if you have a feel on it,
y'all CEG is different than like a lot of gospel cats.
That's what it is. It's swag and all this other stuff. And I guess because I'm just like you, but my mother was the black sheep. Shout out to you, Valerie Jones. Love you. My dad. They had a lot of records in their house. They were raised in church. My dad was actually a preacher, but they didn't go to church. So we had the Steely Dan's, we had the Deal, we had all the Prince records. I'm talking about records. And I used to just listen and look at the credits. And I think I got that whole thing from it. And then when hip hop came, it was a rap. I was like, oh, I want to do this. And so
because Omar knows hip hop.
Knows hip hop.
Like he could play a slum and like, and as soon as he hit, I'm like, yo, this is heaven. It's like that swag. When I be in fit, I was like, and I'm gonna tell you another person that could do it. That could do both. Rest in peace. My first brother I ever toured with, Paris Bowens.
Oh yeah,
Paris, I love you so much. And our first gig out the church was Vivian Green.
Eric Tribbett.
Eric Tribbett. Shout out to Eric Tribbett. He put a lot of people on. Y'all can forget. But I'm saying it right now.
Eric Tribbett is a godfather.
He the godfather. And I'm on record. This is my podcast. I'm saying it. It is what it is.
Yes, I love Eric. That's what I'm saying? That's my heart right
there. But Paris had the chops like you and Justin Savage and all y'all. But Paris always had it. In it, he had a pocket. Because people don't think keyboard is pockets for keyboard. They think it's like a drum term. Like, yo, he got a nice pocket. No, you got a pocket on keys, bro. Like a lot of keyboards don't have a pocket.
You gotta know how to serve the music.
It's like they don't sit. I'm like,
all it is.
You just can't expect the drummer and the bass player to sit. Like, no, bro, you gotta sit on that piano too.
But I think it's also having an overlook. You gotta have an overlook at things because it's not just boom, boom, boom. And most of the times, I try to make sure that we have a great singer. You have background, and you're just textual points. It's like adding, this room.
Okay.
If I put too much color in it, it's gonna. Everything has to work and sync together to present a purpose.
Come on, you're Cleon. Y'all, that's why. See, listen, what you play comes from your heart and your spirit. Mm-hmm. See, a lot of people wouldn't know Cleon was spiritual like this. Remember we did that first gig like a year ago, and he spoke at Curtis King. I was like, that's why he played.
Yes,
we live on a level that we hear. This cat be hearing some stuff that comes out of this playing like.
Glory to that.
For real, like
you better keep your ears open to hear. Mm-hmm. You don't want to miss no messages.
I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this proclamation too. This whole claim, this trio right here, and we've been working. I like this, but see, it starts here. We can talk, we can eat together, and now we can play together. Now we got to record together. So
I love recording. It's my thing. Yeah. You know one reason I'm doing this, bro. A lot of my heroes, when they transition, bro, we don't have records from them. We don't have dialogue like this. And my thing is like legacy, bro. And a lot of times people say leave an inheritance for your children. Well, not people, God said it actually. That's what the word God says. It says leave an inheritance for your children's children. And a lot of times we think financial, that's the application of scripture, but it could be principles, it could be the word of God or your religion, whatever your faith is. And this is an inheritance. Our children, bro, because we're all fathers, they could go back and see this is who daddy played with, this is who daddy love.
Man,
like I love y'all. Forget music, you know, because sometimes people make stuff about music. I'm like, I play a lot better if I love you, bro. Like if you got an issue right there,
you gonna feel it.
That West Baltimore coming up, what we gonna do? Yo,
what we doing?
What we doing? Like,
come on,
you know, and that's gonna come out in the music, man. But like, I want my daughter and my son to see who I love and who I respect, you know. And I tell people, man, I may not be around. Somebody want to date my daughter. No, Uncle Daniel vetting too. You know what I'm saying?
And, you know, inheritance. Real, you know and inheritance is also it's genetics too. But I was sitting on the plane the other day, and I had Dylan on the phone, and I was FaceTiming, and I always do a mantra with him every morning if I'm leaving, and he was saying, boom, boom, I love you. And when I was asking the question, he was saying, yes, sir, no, sir, boom, boom, boom. This Asian cat sat down, right? He was like, that's your son? I was like, yes. He's like, man, I loved hearing that, yes, sir, man. I mean, that's, and I was just like, that's what we're supposed to do. He was like, nah, you never know, man, but you're doing a great job. That part right there.
That's an inheritance.
And that's the legacy.
Because a lot of times, I don't know, it was like some big actor I saw an interview, right? And it was Charlemagne. And he was just being polite. He had manners, you know, exhibiting chivalry. Mm-hmm. He didn't know it was a boss, nothing. It's just who he was, right? That's how he was raised. Mm-hmm. And the person remember, and that opened the door for him. Ooh. But it was a transactional per quid per quo. Yeah. It was being who he is. But again, if you're not around and your son doesn't open the door for a young lady or anyone, a male, female, it's not even about that. He just doesn't know chivalry, etiquette. It's like, well, he might have lost, you know, that scholarship.
Yes,
where you and your mama not around, which is way more than money. You see, we put everything in
because your gifts,
in terms of
God's
money.
Gonna give you gift, and He gonna place you with me. Shall men bless you? Mm-hmm. And so it's based on these relationships. I can introduce you to somebody, and what comes out your mouth mess it all up. And then when you go in the room, that's because they say you're gonna be in room with great men. It's what you do in the room with the great men. You may stay in there for 5 minutes, but then you open your mouth and you sound like a plumb idiot.
That's all a parallel of may the work I've done speak for me.
Oh,
come on, boy. Like, yeah, man. That's how we are.
Dallas is a sound. It's a music city. Every city in a music city. Y'all, like Philly, like it's certain cities like y'all got a sound, right? So anyway, like Deep Ellum when I moved here was like y'all space where I could hear a lot of cats playing stuff. And so when I was sitting back to listen, I'm a student of music. I'm a student in general. I'm hearing, this is me, the Dallas sound, right? Because y'all have your own sound, but it's a different type of fusion. It's not GRP, Dave Record fusion. It's different fusion, right? So I'm hearing gospel. I'm hearing funk. Mm-hmm. I'm hearing jazz because East Coast, you know, you went to new school. We're big on changes. We can't play changes. Don't even worry about it. So I'm like, all right, they're playing changes. So I'm hearing jazz. I'm hearing hip hop. So when I hear y'all play out here, I'm hearing like y'all perfectly fuse soul but y'all perfectly fuse soul, hip hop, jazz, and depending on what I'm listening to, a little rock, like the little young dudes that was homeschooled, got the little guitar thing.
Quentin.
Yeah, I'm hearing like a little rock with them. I'm hearing, I'm hearing funk, and to me, that's probably how I would, in a way, describe like the Dallas sound, like those genres that y'all perfectly know how to just go in and out. Mm-hmm. Did I get it right?
You got, I think you hit it on the nose. You hit it on the nose. And
am I missing something, Cleon?
And I dare not, you know, refute the Nathan Myers or the Munyan Logans and these are very classically trained people who can sing opera or play opera, and Sean Martin can get on the pipe organ, Ed Myerson, and play all 3 tiers and read it down. So it's different. Yeah, but I think you got a gist of it. I mean, and this is a real thing. That's why Robert Glasper actually put out Black Radio, if you think about it. He said, let me do all these pop songs, but redo them in a way, in a black format. But really, what is it? It's drums, Rhodes, and boom, boom, boom. So artists and the white counterpart ate it up, and like, oh, this is the best thing ever. But it's just merging what we like to listen to, what we would do in the clubs, in our jam sessions, but then just translated in a way that, hey, look, here's the package. here it is. And that's what we do on a day, you know.
I'm proud of myself. I got it right.
Yeah.
Now, I just quickly, can you speak? What makes someone a successful musical director? Cliff Note version. This other than service. I want to hear from you because you were not just born to play the piano. You have a gift of people like no one I've ever seen. Like you understand people almost like a pastor, bro. Which I feel is a big part of being a music director. But I feel like that's your calling in life. But quickly, like how?
You're a pastor? Okay.
No, MDing. Like you was born to be an MD. Like you're very great at being an MD. It's like your calling, right?
Thank you.
But a good MD other than service, like what's a good MD other than like you program good, we all know, you know, but like something that people may not be that privy to, like why people calling you the MD often.
Know that you can't do everything. Get the right people to do the right things, and you don't have to be best friends with the people that can do the right thing. Get the people that you know that their personalities shall work together if you have to put them on the road. That's it. But now a lot of these times you just got to get the people to do the job and they can work together. And you can't do it all. You got to know how to, you know, contract out stuff and do other stuff, you know. It's like Quincy. Quincy knew how to, you know, let Michael talk to the musicians or let Rob Templeton do, you know, so it's the same thing.
So delegation.
You got to know how to delegate. But then also when it comes to putting people together, know what gels and what works.
Musically and personality-wise.
Yes. Did I know this was correct? I felt it and I prayed in the spirit. Now we on this. Look. So, I mean, and that's a lot of things, you know. And also you got to know that some things ain't for everybody. Even though I love my homeboy. This ain't, and I done failed a lot of times in that. Like trying to put the homie on and you be like, that ain't gonna work. You know, so you just gotta, we're in the people's business. We're in the
This is the main thing.
Yeah.
Beyond knowing how to program, put a show together and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of almost like minutia.
They don't pay us for the 2 hours we on stage. They pay us for the other 22 hours. Remember that. 2 hours that we on stage, that's natural. It's that other 22.
So as an MD, you thinking like the artist, personality.
I'm taking all that.
If I call this drummer, they might actually fit the gig more than another drummer, but the personality might actually be more of a reason to call this cat. Just being totally 100.
Yes.
Just being candid. It's nothing. It's not even. It's nothing personal. Actually.
Nothing. Because what's got to come in and be like, who is that?
Bro, do you know one time, and I feel a couple times MDing with things like that. Like I call cats, and they could play. I'm like, I know they could play, and the artist's like, I don't feel them.
Yeah, because musicians are weird. We're weird.
Like, you know, like the artists be like, I don't like their personality.
Yes.
But I'm like, they're killing. And then the hardest thing for me, I'm not gonna lie, because I love people. It's hard for me to find my friends. I'm like, because all my homies could play. I feel like all my friends are probably better musicians than me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, oh man, I know it's not their plan, but I gotta make the artist feel comfortable. But the artists ain't. They just don't. They just don't vibe with them off the instrument.
This would be the last thing I say. So a lot of people, man, that's out. They didn't have some gigs and they got tossed because they knew they had the gig. But that's the thing.
They got tossed because that was powerful what you just said. Like they always got comfortable.
Yeah,
you can never get.
And it's not.
Do y'all still practice? You mind me asking?
I still practice.
You still practice? Do you still practice, Cleon?
I mean, I practice on
like playing drums.
Yeah,
I don't sit down on drums till I gotta play. And it's different for me now at 37 and 4 kids. I think about music all day, but as much as I've played drums and having to do solos and long solos for 18 years, I don't want to sit down and exhaust anything that I would like feel at a particular moment on music. I don't want to waste that in a room away from everybody. Doesn't make sense. I'd rather just sit and live with music until I have to sit down and, play out what I lived.
That's powerful. Now, but then you actually still.
Well, my practicing is a different type of thing because, it's about getting the playlist right for everybody else, getting the charts ready, getting the lyrics together, rehearsing singers separately from this, boom, programming it,
That's MD
and so
rehearsal.
that's
MD rehearsal.
and that's my way of doing it. So I can listen to something because I've trained enough. I'll be like, okay, we're in this key. All right, that's it. Let me boom, boom, boom. That may be my practice in there. I want to get more into it, but that's why I treat the $100 gig, $100 gigs. Like
you know what? You know what thing I like about you. And a lot of people say it, but they ain't about it. There's no such thing as a big gig and a small gig. No. But a lot of people like to say that, like the same, like they like no, because I heard you in a small gig and you don't have your nice bass out, you don't have your nice cabinet. It's if you bought your cabinet, you don't put that same effort in like when you. And I know cats like that, but they all say it out their mouth like there's no such thing as a big. But you play every gig like it's your last. That's what. But you too, Cleon. That's what both of y'all play.
I never know when it will be.
Oh, come on.
But I think that's why when y'all do major gigs, they're like these cats. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna say the name, but he's like, check us out. We're doing an award show in BET, so we all watching them on BET. But Adam and them, right? So y'all know I don't have no filter. I'm honest. I told you this when I first moved there, right? So then it was Cleon and RC. They played for Erica. And maybe Adam and maybe another person played with them. I said, why y'all playing like them? They playing, their whole room sound different. I was like, y'all all corporate. I'm like, it's all free.
That's my family. Shout out to BB.
They my family too. I was honest though. I was like,
you say it was a different, but you know,
no, it was just different. It's
because
just,
they've been playing with her for so long, and they knew her, and so they served under her. Adam was serving the corporate. He was serving BET.
Right, and you heard BET and family. You heard it night and day. But see, my whole point with the family, when you do those small gigs, when you are on the big stage with Adam and them, bro, it come out because you could hear it night and day. I mean, I was just joking when I was being silly.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I was with BET family. I was joking when I was being silly, but the thing is, but you can hear the spirit, which a lot of people don't realize that comes from the small gigs where a lot of musicians like feel like they too big to do small gigs. Like, such thing as a small gig. Like,
I love those. I can feel the energy.
Those bro, sometimes those are my favorite gigs. The big ones, it's like cool, the crowd far away, you got your in-ears. It's like, I mean, it's cool, you're still serving, but sometimes those are my favorite gigs. It's just like 100 people, maybe even 50.
I'd be cool with 50.
Yeah, 50, bro. Those
Profit Bar used to be the hottest when it used to rain, and it'd be like 10 or 12 people.
Some of the most special gigs. What advice would y'all give young musicians or people want to take it to another level, or something that wasn't told to you that you probably wish you heard when you were first starting out, or maybe even now, like even the professionals? I mean,
I go, Bragg. I know you probably got a lot to say. Stay humble. Understand that your gift is loaned, and it can be taken at any point, all because of how you choose to think about it, or how you choose to just acting upon your knowing. Train yourself on how to act on your knowings and act on what you know. Learn to listen to people, especially if you're starting. You don't have too much to say. You actually have way less time to talk right now. It's very vital for you to listen.
I told AB that. I told AB.
Yeah, because it's very vital to listen to them, because the people that are in charge, they're going to see if you can do that. It starts with listening. You got to listen all the way for instructions and for your parts, music. So keep your ears open.
Keep your ears open.
Stay humble. Keep your ears open, man, and give it your all every time.
Give it your all every time.
Serve.
Close us out. What would you say?
If you have music, put it out.
That was for me.
You can't receive when you're holding it all into it. God doesn't want you to be a hoarder of your gifts.
Ooh, if you have music, put it out.
There's no harvest with no seed sowing.
And if you're late, if you're on time, you're late. And be prepared and know how to read the room. There's a time for you to speak up and a time for you to shut up. So that's about it.
Y'all, Daniel Jones, Cleon. Daniel Jones, man.
Taj music.
Not just Dallas finest, but the world's finest right here.
We love you, man. We embrace you here.
Man, can I just say thank you?
Yeah, thank you.
And y'all just being authentically who y'all are. I had no idea what I was walking to, moving from a freaking Baltimore, Maryland, all the way down south to Dallas. I had Amos here, Justin, Cordell. I had, I know I had all of y'all, and I love y'all, and I stayed with them. Y'all stayed with Justin Ames, but I didn't know how that was gonna actually materialize. And bro, y'all have given me so much love, man. I appreciate it because people don't gotta treat you good. They don't have to. And y'all treat me better than good, man. I learned so much from y'all. I love playing with y'all, man. I love y'all for real.
Yeah,
so
you too, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate y'all.
We'll be doing it again soon. All right, signing out. 3 Life.
Peace out.